Gosh.
That's what I get.
Here, give me one of your pens.
Oh, Mr. Chairman, this water is so good. Go. Before you start,
I'm good.
did you know, we'd like to just have a minute or two as you're voting on the Hudson Valley?
Okay.
If that's okay.
Well, just, just,
I'll remind you.
hey, you're just going to do a point of order, okay? Yeah,
Right before you take the vote, he just wants
yeah,
to talk about it.
okay.
Mr. Chairman, take a minute for yourself.
I hear you. Okay, I apologize for the delay. Right now, I'd like to call this legislative meeting to order. The clerk will call the roll since we're reconvening.
Mr. Bailey?
Here.
Mr. Bendet?
Here.
Mr. Burns?
Here.
Mr. Casal?
Here.
Ms. Doran?
Present.
Mr. Fiacco?
Here.
Mr. Fleming?
Here.
Mr. Grant?
Present.
Mr. Grimm?
Here.
Mr. Harrington?
Present.
Ms. Hoffman?
Here.
Mr. Loveridge?
Here.
Mr. Patiri?
Here.
Mr. Peter?
Here.
Mr. Tessman?
Here.
Ms. Sullivan Tita? Ms. Weaver?
Here.
Mr. Wysocki?
Here.
Chairman Stammel?
Here,
There are 19 present.
Mr. Grant, invocation, please.
Dear Lord, as we rise to meet each new day, please let us be filled with your spirit. Amen.
Amen. Mr. Grimm, pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to
The flag.
The United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mr. Harrington.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we dispense with the reading of the minutes of the regular meeting of July 14, 2020, and approve the minutes as printed.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor? Aye. So moved. Meeting agenda, presentation of petitions,
On file?
presentation of communications,
On file?
reports of commissions,
On file?
departmental reports,
On file?
reports of standing committees,
On file?
local laws,
There's one introductory local law tonight.
index of resolutions. Okay, the introductory local laws already on here. Let's see, resolution P277.
P 27720, resolution recognizing September as Childhood Cancer Awareness Month and Rensselaer County Goes Gold Month, introduced by legislators Grant and the entire legislative body.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. P27820.
P 27820, resolution recognizing September 27, 2020 as National Gold Star Mother's Day, introduced by legislators Harrington, Tessman, and the entire legislative body.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. P27920.
P 27920, resolution declaring the month of September 2020 in Rensselaer County as Month of Remembrance, introduced by legislators Stammel and the entire legislative body.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? So
19
moved.
ayes.
P28020.
P 28020, resolution recognizing September 17th through the 23rd, 2020 as United States Constitution Week in Rensselaer County, introduced by legislators Stammel and the entire legislative body.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. P28120.
P 28120, resolution recognizing September 2020 as National Recovery Month in Rensselaer County, introduced by legislators Grant, Tessman, and the entire legislative body.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G28220.
G 28220, resolution authorizing the county executive to execute a contract with Gauls Uniform for the purpose of purchasing employee uniforms, Office of the Sheriff, introduced by legislators Tessman, Grant, and Weaver.
On the question? All in favor?
19 ayes.
Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G, 28320.
G 28320, resolution authorizing the county executive to enter into an agreement with Hudson Valley Community College Department of Social Services, introduced by Legislative Research and Information Services, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Grant, Weaver, Stammel, and Grimm.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G, 28520.
G 28520, resolution authorizing the purchase of inmate supplies, two-piece uniforms for the use in the Rensselaer County Correctional Facility, Office of the Rensselaer County Sheriff, introduced by legislators Testman, Grant, and Weaver.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed? So moved.
19 ayes.
G, 28620.
G 28620, resolution authorizing the acceptance of a grant from the New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services and amending the 2020 Rensselaer County Adopted Budget, Bureau of Public Safety. Introduced by Grant, Testman, and Weaver.
All in favor? Opposed?
19 ayes.
I guess I should have. G, 28720.
G 28720, resolution authorizing a contract for a veterans program and amending the 2020 Rensselaer County Adopted Budget, Mental Health, introduced by legislators Grant, Testman, Weaver.
On the question?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Briefly, very briefly, this is a wonderful resolution. We're told often that a lot of areas of government are very dysfunctional and divided. This resolution is an example of certain levels and different levels of inter and intergovernmental bodies working together for the benefit of the citizens of Rensselaer County. It's a wonderful resolution. It's combining the efforts of Hudson Valley Community College, the state of New York, our county mental hygiene and mental health department. I'm just so proud to have the opportunity to vote in favor of this resolution. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mr. Grant. Well said. On the question? Any more? All in favor? Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G, 28820.
G 28820, resolution authorizing agreement with various school districts for substance abuse prevention, Department of Mental Health, introduced by legislators Grant, Testman, Weaver.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G, 28920.
G 28920, resolution
I'm sorry.
authorizing. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to correct that vote to 18 ayes and 1 abstention. Ms. Sullivan Tita.
Thank you. G, 28920.
G 28920, resolution authorizing the Van Rensselaer Manor to utilize consortium contracts, Van Rensselaer Manor, introduced by legislators Grant, Testman, Weaver.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed? So
19
moved.
ayes.
G, 29020.
G 29020, resolution authorizing the execution of contracts for the purchase of blades and shoes for snowplows and leveling wings, Highway Department, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Grant, Weaver, Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G, 29120.
G 29120, resolution authorizing a service and maintenance agreement with Pub Works Application Software, Highway Department, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Grant, Weaver, Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G, 29220.
G 29220, resolution authorizing a contract for rental and rental of a road widener, Highway Department, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Grant, Weaver, Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G, 29320.
G 29320, resolution authorizing a contract for County Route 144, 141, North Lake Ave, South Lake Avenue, Traffic Engineering Services, Highway Department, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Grant, Weaver, Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
All in favor? Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G, 29420.
G 29420, resolution amending the 2020 adopted Rensselaer County Budget, Highway Department, introduced by legislators Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G, 29520.
G 29520, resolution authorizing execution of an agreement for engineering services, Highway Department, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Grant, Weaver, Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G, 29620.
G 29620, resolution authorizing contract with Troy Rehabilitation and Improvement Program, Inc., TRIP, Department of Health, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Grant, Weaver, Bendet, Casal, and Doran.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G 29720.
G 29720, resolution amending the 2020 Rensselaer County adopted budget, county clerk, introduced by legislators Leverage, Stammel, Grimm.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G 29820.
Economic Development and Planning, introduced by legislators Bailey, Bendet, and Fleming.
I would ask you to say that again, but I wouldn't ask you to do
Kind of
anything I
tongue-
couldn't do myself.
Like a-
So, on the question? All in favor? Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G 29920.
G 29920, resolution authorizing a contract for the purchase of dishwashing detergents, Department of Aging, Sheriff's Department of Van Rensselaer Manor Nursing Home, Bureau of Central Services, introduced by legislators Leverage, Grant, Weaver, Stammel, and Grimm.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G 320.
G 320, resolution authorizing continuing agreement with New York State Department of Transportation for federal transit operating assistance, Bureau of Economic Development and Planning, introduced by legislators Leverage, Grant, Weaver, Bailey, Bendet, and Fleming.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G 30120.
G 30120, resolution accepting draft Rensselaer County multi-jurisdictional natural hazard mitigation plan, starting the environmental review and seeking lead agency status, Bureau of Economic Development and Planning, as amended in special rules. This is introduced by legislators Leverage, Grant, Weaver, Bailey, Bendet, and Fleming.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G 30220.
G 30220, resolution authorizing an agreement and amending the 2020 Rensselaer County adopted budget, county executive and legislature, introduced by legislators Leverage, Grant, Weaver, Stammel, and Grimm.
On the question? Oh, yes, sir.
Chairman,
Mr.
I'd just like to say, and I reiterate from committee on this resolution, and I have said this in the past, that I don't think that, we're in the position of having a fiduciary responsibility to all of the residents of Rensselaer County. Should be using situations like this would look like court, to be giving them out to certain individuals. So because of that, and not because of the cause, I'm going to be voting no.
Okay, Mr. Grimm. Anyone else? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
No.
17 ayes, 2 noes.
G 30420.
G 30320,
Oh, 303,
resolution
sorry.
authorizing the purchase of 2 floor scrubbing machines, Office of the Rensselaer County Sheriff, introduced by legislators Tessman, Grant, and Weaver.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. Now we'll do G 30420.
G 30420, resolution authorizing the purchase and installation of Chronos upgrade and timekeeping system at the Rensselaer County Correctional Facility, Office of the Rensselaer County Sheriff and Highway Department, introduced by legislators Tessman, Grant, and Weaver.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G 30520.
G 30520, resolution authorizing acceptance of funds from the Coronavirus Aid Relief and Economic Security CARES Act and amending the 2020 Rensselaer County adopted budget, Unified Family Services Aging, introduced by legislators Leverage, Grant, Weaver, Bailey, Peter, and Fleming.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G 30620.
G 30620, resolution authorizing acceptance of funds from the Coronavirus Preparedness and Response Supplemental Appropriation Act and amending the 2020 Rensselaer County adopted budget, Unified Family Services Aging, introduced by legislators Leverage, Grant, Weaver, Bailey, Peter, and Fleming.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G 30720.
G 30720, resolution of the county legislature of the County of Rensselaer, New York, increasing tax on sale and uses of tangible personal property and of certain services and on occupy of hotel rooms and amusement charges pursuant to Article 29 of the tax law of the state of New York, introduced by legislators Leverage, Stammel, and Grimm.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes, 1 no. 2 noes.
Okay. Motion approved. G 30820.
G 30820, resolution modifying and adopting agricultural district number 6, East Greenbush, Nassau, and Sand Lake, Skodak, in North Greenbush as a result of the 8-year review of said district, introduced by legislators Harrington, Wysocki, and Fleming.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G, 30920.
G 30920, resolution declaring the intent of the rent introduced by legislators Leverage, Stammel, and Grimm.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G, 31020.
P 31020, resolution honoring the memory of Joseph Tex Passanella Sr., introduced by legislators Weaver, Grimm, Doran, Burns, Fleming, Sullivan, Teet, and the entire legislative body.
On the question? All in favor? So moved.
19 ayes.
Opposed? Yeah. G, 31120.
P 31120,
P11.
resolution adjourning the August 11, 2020 legislative meeting in memory of Congressman John Lewis and honoring his service by renewing Rensselaer County's commitment to ensuring that the principles and ideals of the American promise are available to all citizens and that the justice is afforded to all Americans. Introduced by legislators Peter and the entire legislative body.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. Add special rules. P, 31220.
P 31220, resolution recognizing August 31st, 2020 as International Overdose Awareness Day, introduced by Chairman Stammel.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G, 31320.
G 31320, resolution amending the 2020 Rensselaer County Adopted Budget Highway Department, introduced by Chairman Stammel.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
13 ayes, 6 noes.
So moved. Legislative privilege. Oh, one more.
Did we amend Linda Heidi's 301?
Yes.
Yeah, we amended it.
So that one, we didn't call 301 yet.
Yes, we did, as
Oh,
amended.
we did it already?
Yeah.
Yeah, as amended.
Okay.
As amended.
Legislative privilege. Anything on yes, sir.
Two, it was.
Just, you're all aware that we had a resolution on the table asking for racial justice in America. It's been here now for the second one. And, we had come to kind of an agreement with,
Grimm.
putting this forward. We had some conversations back and forth. You're under the impression that a proposed resolution that was presented to the Rules Committee this week
Oh, that's gonna be, yeah.
might be considered. We responded as requested to the majority caucus about some changes to that, and no changes were presented whatsoever in special rules going forward. And my disappointment then is that no resolution made it to the floor. Today, we've received, or this week we've received, in support of this, going on now from last month, hundreds of letters from people that are behind this. And I'm very disappointed. I think we're letting down our constituency here. And, I think it's a shame. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Go ahead. Ms. Dorn?
I too was under the impression that we would have a resolution honoring Black Lives Matter in the movement this week. Frankly, I thought that the resolution that we received last Wednesday in rules might become the resolution we voted on this evening, which is not the case. There are constituents who saw a copy of what was presented last week in rules and have written in the last few days. And I would just like to read one letter from a woman in the city of Troy and what she thought of the changes that you had proposed, because you could not live with the wording of our resolution that was on the table, which was P 31420. She wrote this on August 9.
Button on the top. Is it lit?
It's turning green. Good. Dear Rensselaer County legislators, the changes made by the Republicans to P. movement, but a weak attempt to support the status quo without saying so. Some will say that they can support this because the resolved portion of the resolution was not changed. Unfortunately, the resolved part rings quite hollow in this version because everything that comes before it negates any support for the Black Lives Matter movement, and indeed any real recognition that the effects of slavery are deeply ingrained in all of our institutions for which immediate changes need to be addressed. By removing the phrase, and I quote, "and that we demand solutions for the terrible wrongs done," makes it clear that you have no intention of addressing policing reforms or systemic racism. You say there's no white privilege? If you would choose, would you rather be born black or white? Why delete the words black people? Is it a denial that slavery ever existed, or that we don't want to acknowledge that our society is not plagued by, again, quote, remnants of racism, but by full-blown racism? Any denial that racism only affected the South is ludicrous. Ladies and gentlemen, it is alive and doing quite well throughout America. Proof? Look no further than the neighborhood you live in. Where are all the black people? Look no further than the schools your kids attend. Where are all the black kids? Look no further than the restaurants, stores, movie theaters, shopping malls, parks you support. Where are all the black people? Where are all the black businesses? Where are all the black people elected to the county legislature? And where are all the black men who, targeted by the police, end up either dead or spending their lives incarcerated and or trying to navigate the criminal justice system, a system with the highest incarceration rates in the world and disproportionately populated by black people and people of color? In her introduction to the book, The New Jim Crow, Michelle Alexander starts out with the following, and I quote, "Jarvis Cotton cannot vote. Like his father, grandfather, great-grandfather, and great-great-grandfather, he has been denied the right to participate in our electoral democracy." Cotton's family tree tells the story of several generations of black men who were born in the United States, but who were denied the most basic freedom that democracy promises, the freedom to vote for those who will make the rules and laws that govern one's life. Cotton's great-grandfather could not vote as a slave. His great-grandfather was beaten to death by the Ku Klux Klan for attempting to vote. His grandfather was prevented from voting by Klan intimidation. His father was barred from voting by poll taxes and literacy tests. Today, Jarvis Cotton cannot vote because he, like many men in the United States, has been labeled a felon and is currently on parole, end of quote. With the advent of war on drugs, the criminal justice system has replaced Jim Crow as a legalized institutional form of discrimination of black people and people of color. Once you're labeled a felon, the old forms of discrimination, employment discrimination, housing discrimination, denial of the right to vote, denial of educational opportunity, denial of food stamps and other public benefits, and exclusion from jury service are suddenly legal. You say, since the 1960s, America has made great strides in overcoming racism. Really? Great strides? The Jim Crow South may have been defeated by the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, but as aforementioned, it has been replaced with the new Jim Crow. The passage of the Voting Rights Act in 1965 was monumental. and gave millions of black people the right to vote, particularly in the South. And as a result, many blacks have been elected to public office. But in recent years, the important pre-clearance section of the act has been gutted by the Supreme Court, lifting the brakes on any attempts by governments to suppress the black vote. Since then, this revised resolution is not worthy of a yes. I implore the Democrats to fully reject it. You represent Troy, where 11,000 people turned out on June 5th to peacefully march in support of the Black Lives Matter movement, which led and galvanized our country to end police violence against black people and to end racism in all its ugly forms after witnessing the horrific death of George Floyd at the hands of the police. They deserve to have their elected officials hear them and act accordingly. And this was by Noreen McKee, who lives in the city of Troy. And I thank you for bearing with me as I read that, but this is just one example of the many, many letters, 150, that we have received on this issue.
Thank you, Ms. Dorn. Anyone else? Mr. Leverage.
Yes, I would like to, based upon what we just heard from Ms. Dorn, I'd like to encourage all of us as elected officials to keep in mind issues like choosing candidates from the black community in our areas. However, we all know that the majority of black people in Rensselaer County live in your district. And I see no black people sitting at those chairs. So I would encourage you to follow what you're asking us. And when you go out, apply what you say.